Welcome to The Queen's Lair, a lifestyle podcast. Get inspired by our latest tips and information about small business, entrepreneurship, natural hair, travel, food, and even relationships. Stay tuned for another great episode. I am your host, Renee Patrice. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning into my podcast once again. You cannot get discouraged. This is a conversation that I had with a close friend of mine. You cannot get discouraged when people don't share with you things that are happening in their lives. We are not privy or entitled to know everything that happens in people's lives. I'm seeing this trend. I'm actually loving this trend lately where people are just showing up on the scene. Badow, here you go. This is what I've been working on for 6 months. This is that thing that I'm popping up with 2 years later. And you know what? This individual was kind of annoyed because it happened in their life with somebody that's close to them on the other side. And I said, why are you upset? Why are you getting upset? People are living their lives and doing what it is that they feel they want to do. We are not entitled to their business. We're not entitled to anything that they're doing. But part of the issue with this is that social media got us in a chokehold. It has us believing that we have to share every nitty-gritty detail that goes on in our lives, and we don't. As a matter of fact, I wish you wouldn't. I don't want to know every time you got to go pee. I don't want to know every time that you're going to the gym. I don't want to know every time that you're going up the street for a piece of cake. It's none of my business. It's none of any of our business. Sometimes we bring people into our business to the point that they begin to feel like the individual owes them a story. There's actually a YouTuber that I follow. I'm not going to say their name, but they're this great couple, that I followed for a long time, for years. And they became very popular, the wife and the husband. And we noticed that the channel was changing a little bit. And I said to myself, something's happening with these two. I don't know what's going on. I don't know them personally. I just know them from online. And I felt like, yeah, there's definitely something happening. So the wife eventually addressed the situation and, didn't skirt around it at all. Just said, no, we are no longer together. We're still legally married, but we are no longer together. And we are, basically going down the road of, filing for divorce and all of that. Which was very sad, but I definitely think a lot of people saw it coming. They saw a lot of things happening down the road, I can't say it was really a surprise, but sad nonetheless. And she did not owe us any explanation of anything. Honestly, I already kind of put two and two together, and that was enough for me, because I'm in the people business like that. That's just not my thing. I'm glad that she felt comfortable enough to say something and open up about it. And people were able to move on from that, and here we are months later, probably a year later now, and people are just moving on from it. And when you have, especially if you're an influencer online and things like that, people really do feel invested. My suggestion would be, don't share it in the first place. You know what I mean? Unless you're ready to share everything. If you tell your audience, I'm going to share the highs, the lows, the ins and outs and all that kind of stuff, unless you're going to share it all, don't even bother to share anything. You don't have to put your significant other online. I don't have to know who your husband is. I don't have to know who your wife is, your boo, your bae, your what. I don't have to know all that. Some things are sacred. But you have this crop of people in this new media, social media space that they just feel the need to post everything. And then when something goes left, because you've put everything out there, then people start asking questions. Then they start hounding you. Then they start coming up with their own scenarios. And that in turn frustrates. And I'm speaking a lot towards influencers right now, just not the everyday person. Even though I've seen it happen with everyday people as well. But this is more for my influencers out there. People are not entitled to your business. They're really not. You could tell a whole story and leave out the ending, but know that that's going to come with consequences. It's going to come with, what's going on? Where's so-and-so? What happened? I thought this was a couple channel. Oh, okay. They're going to ask questions. So sometimes whatever you're going to keep to yourself, think about it before you start that YouTube channel, before you start that, couples IG, that couples TikTok, or whatever it is that you're doing. Think long and hard with your significant other or with the collab or whatever it is that you're doing. Think long and hard about how you will address certain things, what you feel people should know and what you feel they shouldn't know. Because honestly, the normal reaction of most people are going to be like, oh, what happened to so-and-so? It's a normal reaction. It's not them being rude and extra nosy. You've been sharing every single whistle, blink, and blip all this time. And then you go missing for several months and then get mad that people are asking questions. So think about it before you share it. Think, do I really want to share this piece of my life? That way you don't have to, and like I said, you feel free to share it and you could stop sharing it all of a sudden, and that's okay too. But what I'm saying is I see a lot of influencers getting upset. Well, I don't have to share it. You don't. You really don't. So just be careful what you share and how much you share. I tend to be very transparent on this podcast. People could pretty much ask me anything, and I'll be honest about it, because why not? But that's how I choose to run. That doesn't mean that's how somebody else chooses to run their brand. I'm very straightforward. But some people tend to be a little bit more guarded, and that is perfectly fine. There's no right or wrong way to do it. But I would warn, because I've just seen it happen so many times. Make up your mind in the beginning how you're going to run your business and how you're going to run your brand. How much you will share, how much you won't share. People think that that's such a tiny thing. Oh, I don't need to worry about that right now. You should. You should. Especially if it comes to doing stuff with family, friends, significant others. Really write all that stuff out. Like, if one of us was no longer on the channel, what does that look like? If one of us was no longer a part of the duo, what would that look like? What if so-and-so decides that they don't want to film today? What does that look like? Do we put up a video or do we not put up a... Those are things that you need to have discussions about. All this new media and social media stuff is relatively a newer thing in the last 10 to 15 years, right? So we really are writing our rules and regulations, terms and conditions on our own. You know what I mean? Because it's so hard to find those parameters that already exist out there. Everybody is different. You know what I'm saying? Every single person is different. So once you find those parameters, once you nail that down, put it in writing, and everybody, sign and have a contract. Even if it's a family vlog, have a contract. How things are going to go. Because some people, they're willing to share up to a certain point and then no more. And you'll never know this. And again, the public is not entitled to anything. But it is good to have things written down and in writing so that there's no confusion when it comes down the road. So I say all that to say, and also to my friend, they know who they are. You can't get upset when people don't share certain things. You just can't. It's up to them. But I would say to the folks, especially if you're an influencer type, be careful about what you share. Because if you shared all of these intimate details of things of your life and then all of a sudden you pull back and then you come back and boom, there's a whole new story, people are going to react to that. And then you're going to have to manage those reactions. You can ignore them for as long as you want. But really, nobody wants to spend their day trying to manage their comments. And I can tell you right now, no PR person, brand manager, whatever, is going to want to manage comments, especially of negativity. So really make those tough decisions early on so that you don't have the disappointment down the road, or you can lessen the disappointment down the road. So that's just that was just a conversation I had with one of my close friends, but it also turns into a good best practice and tip for the influencers out there, or just brands in general that are known, and have that discussion. Even if you're a family that tends to post a lot on social media, you may not be a known brand or a celebrity or public figure. Decide as a family what's appropriate to post online. If you're going on vacation, sometimes you don't want your kids posting your locations. I don't tend to post when I'm on vacation because I don't want people to know I'm not home. You know what I mean? If people know where you live and you post that you're on vacation for 10 days, you're a sitting duck for somebody to come and clean your whole house out. You know what I mean? Because not everybody that's connected to you is your friend. And it could be people you know or people you don't know. It's not that hard to find an address these days. So you have to be mindful. I guess that's my point of this too, we need to be more mindful of what we're sharing on social media. If you're very open, you're open, but know that comes with a level of responsibility, right? So, but don't get upset when people don't share certain things. Sometimes not sharing is good. Sometimes you don't need to be wrapped up in somebody else's stuff and their drama and whatever the case. Don't worry yourself about that. Don't even do it. Anyway, that's my word of the day. Like, share, subscribe to this podcast. Pass it along to someone that you think would be interested. We talk about lifestyle stuff over here, small business and entrepreneurship. And if you are listening to the podcast, let me know. Tag me on social media at Onyx Queen Media, and I will repost you in my stories on Instagram as a shout out and a thank you. And oh yes, we hit 50,000 downloads. Woo! which I can't even believe. I think we're actually at 51,000 downloads right now, on our way to 52. I missed the 50,000 mark. I don't even know how I missed that, because I saw it coming up to it, and somehow I just didn't. There was so much other stuff going on. But yes, thank you so much. The fact that 50,000 downloads has come around is, and to think 2 years ago, literally 2 years ago, I almost gave up on this podcast, and I'm so glad I didn't. So thank you so much for the 50,000 downloads so far and counting. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. So I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye. Online savings simplified. Don't search for coupon codes ever again. With one click, Honey's smart shopping assistant will automatically apply discounts to your cart in seconds. Save on all your favorite things. Easily pay less for products you're already buying online. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Join Honey for free. It takes 2 clicks to add Honey to your Chrome, Safari, Firefox, or Opera browser. Find savings in seconds. While you shop, Honey will find working promo codes across the entire internet, and you save instantly. With one click, Honey will apply the best deals to your cart. It's that easy. So what are you waiting for? Get Honey. Download it today. Visit our link, www.tinyurl.com/ONYXHONEY. That's www.tinyurl.com/Onyx Honey. Start saving right now.